Ladies and gentlemen, if I may have your attention. Y'all know I don't like to do anything late. I have a reputation for getting started on time. Just in case some of you don't know it, that's the director of marching band, Shelby Chipman, standing right there. Dr. Chipman. I'll let Dr. Chipman say later on who these three young people are. Y'all know I don't like to boast. But ESPN Plus, a recent show, Road Trip with Bill Rhodes, they were supposed to interview the last three folk, work with Jake Gaither, Coach Lang, who's under the weather, and of course the Godfather and myself. We're the last three who work with Coach. So unfortunately, I had to do the interview by myself. And I thought I couldn't wait to see the show, and when I finally watched it yesterday, I thought it was just going to interview me, but it spent an awful lot of time with Dr. Chipman. But if you have ESPN Plus and you don't have it, like to get it, Bill Rhodes, legendary news reporter, traveled to a number of schools to talk about their history and their athletic programs, and FAMU, of course, is one of his major stops. At this time, Coach Simmons is en route, but since I can't nail the time, and just as I introduced the great Dr. Shelby Chipman, we have the great mayor of Tallahassee, Mr. John Dailey, here. And now, Dr. Chipman, I'll return things over to you.
Again, good evening, good afternoon, everybody. Again, it's my pleasure to be here and, of course, serve as the fourth director of bands at FAMU. We're having a fantastic year. And, of course, kicking things out today in this luncheon, I'll just have the students, as I did with Moises, our drum major, the last time, to introduce themselves. They'll give you their name, of course, their instrument, their major, and where they're from.
Hey, y'all. My name is Yon Torres. I'm a computer science major. I'm a third year. Play trumpet, of course. Yeah. Oh, I'm from Miami.
All right, so greetings and humble salutations. I am Rudy Jimenez, a first-year music industry major, hailing from Miami, Florida. And yeah, that's it. I play trumpet.
Greetings and humble salutations. My name is Joseph and I am a second-year biology pre-med scholar hailing from Orlando, Florida. Obviously, I played the trumpet.
You know, I'm from Miami. Y'all know the drill. And I said we were going to be locked and loaded when we went down to Miami, crib. And certainly the 100 did a fantastic job down in Miami and Tampa and the home games. And we're excited about this week. We're celebrating, of course, doing the pregame show to the West Side Breast Cancer Awareness Month, along with saluting our military. And so we'll play our armed forces medley. So when we perform your hymn, please feel free to stand up. And of course, the United States flag will come out at the very end. I'm telling you the whole show for the pregame. But we want to acknowledge, of course, our veterans and reserve persons who are in town this weekend at the game. And I just can't say enough about the Rattler support that we have received. Of course, the 220 Club and your fantastic leader. I did offer an extended invitation to Eddie to sit with the band and any other members of the club, one of the home games. So we're running out of home games, Eddie, so I do expect to see you, if not this week, homecoming, just do a little drive-by or any of the other 220 Club. But I don't want to belabor the point. Again, Mayor, thank you. Mayor was right on deck for our summer band camp that we had earlier this year and one of the grand marshals for the parade. Thank you. I understand you'll be riding over to the downtown Get Down with us. From campus over to Frenchtown, we're having the whole 270-piece band that'll be there on Friday night. And so we look forward to seeing you guys in Frenchtown. Thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen. Take care.
First time I met Dr. Chipman, and he gave remarks at homecoming, and his first comment was, one thing he always learned when he got up to speak was the 5 B's. Be brief, brother, be brief. And so he prepared to give his brief remarks. 30 minutes later, he was still talking. But it was all good stuff, Dr. Chipman. You get your takeout and something extra since I threw that little jab at you. Is Coach Simmons in the house? 2 minutes? Okay. We're going to go ahead and get started. And I think, Mr. Mayor, I'll go with the students first. They're going to, right here, what? I'm going to start with the mayor. Is that okay with you guys? Okay. I know all these politicians have other things to do, and the mayor has more than the average politician because he's the mayor of our major city. And so it's a great pleasure for me to introduce, oh no, I forgot, sorry. I forgot, I'm sorry. Barbara Norwood, would you come forward, please? See, I need to be reminded of these things. You'll know why I'm asking Mrs. Norwood to come forward in just a moment. Boy, I almost dropped the ball on that one.
Mr. Jackson is like an old refrigerator. I told him that I was so proud of one of my students, and so that's why I'm standing up here today. I was Mayor Dailey's first teacher in kindergarten. Now, he had a devilish smile that he still has. No, he was a very good student, and his mother was very involved in the school and around all the time. So he was well behaved. You know, teachers don't make very much in salary, but the reward of being a teacher is to see your students excel and become good citizens and serve others. I'm very proud of John. I'm proud that he remembers that he's representing the people. So without any further ado, I will be brief and introduce John Dailey, the mayor of Tallahassee.
Wow, that was, Norwood, it's great to see you. You know, you walk in, you see your kindergarten homeroom teacher, and it's like, hi, Miss Norwood, how you doing? It's good. And I was telling Miss Norwood, the next generation of Dailey's, my youngest is at that elementary school right now, and the cafeteria smells the exact same as when it did when we were there. So, Miss Norwood, it's great to see you, and I love you, and thank you for everything that you've done for me and my family and for all the students that you taught here. Look, I'm not on the agenda to speak per se. More of a presentation I'll get to in a second. I really wanted to come by. I've been talking to Eddie a little bit, and I wanted to come by and say my thanks, okay? Thanks for everything that the club does for FAMU athletics and for the football team, okay? Look, folks, we are many things in this community. One thing I'm real proud of, we're a university town. And not only are we a university town, we're a collegiate athletic town. And from the mayor's perspective, not only do I love our universities, but specifically football, that is the tourism driver in our community. That's what brings people to Tallahassee to spend money. It is the #1 driver. And the fact that the club gets together, the fact that you support our great football team over at FAMU, I love the nutrition program that y'all put in place as well to support the team, support the student athletes. I really just wanted to come out and say hi. I didn't know that Eddie was going to give me a trophy. That's real nice of you, but maybe next time we could do it. I don't do this very often, but I'm going to do it today. I want you to know that I'm going to put my money where my mouth is, and I have got a donation here. This is not from the office of the mayor. This is not from a re-election campaign. This is a personal donation, $500 for the club on behalf of myself and my wife. God bless you all. Thanks for having me out today.
Thank you, man. Thank you very much. All right. By the way, these trophies are for me. By the way, I did get a trophy when I was in high school. Yeah, played quarterback.
Ed, you got to give that to the treasurer. That's not special.
Yeah, you and Wilma one of you guys might want to make sure I don't lose this thing. I'll hold it till I see you. Okay, I'm especially pleased. You know, sometimes we need to see who it is we're working for, who we're giving our money for. And I thought, what better representation of the entire student body than Miss Florida A&M University, Mr. Florida A&M University, the president of the student government, and the vice president of the student government. They're going to all be brief, brother, sister, be brief. And I'm going to start out with Miss FAMU, and they'll tell you who they are and what the names and what they've done and maybe a few words about FAMU. So, ladies and gentlemen, Miss Florida A&M University.
Wow, well, thank you so much for having me. I am, again, Christelle Heaven-Haga, the 115th Miss Florida Agricultural Mechanical University, and I currently serve right now as a 115th Miss Florida A&M. And I just wanted to tell you all, thank you so much for donating to us, the students here at FAMU. We really appreciate you. We really appreciate you coming to the football games and just showing out for the Rattler community. Students like Caleb and I, we are from Haitian and Caribbean descent, and we really appreciate all the donors for giving to us, students that may not be able to say things or may not be able to be heard. And so we wanted to come here and tell you guys personally ourselves that we love you. We love all the boosters, all the donors. We love all the messages that you guys give us on the field, all the messages that you guys give us through our DMs, through our boss, Andre Green. Thank you so much for loving us. Thank you so much for being there for us. And again, I'm here for you all, and thank you for being here for me.
Well, greetings, everyone. I am Caleb Laverty. I'm a fourth-year accounting scholar from Bimini, Bahamas, by way of Broward County, Florida. And like my Miss FAMU just said, she pretty much just embodied everything that I was about to say. But we want to thank you all, and just a little something about what FAMU means to me. FAMU is so special to me, and it has literally been one of the best decisions in my life that has catered to me, like I said, academically, personally, professionally, and everything else. FAMU has been everything I needed it to be. And I thank you all as alumni and everything within the boosters and within the clubs, like she said, for donating to us, because I believe that FAMU is so great because the alumni always supports its students here today. So we want to thank you all, and we look forward to continuing to work with you all, and we thank you all for your services always.
There you go. I turned it off. You don't want me to be great. So good afternoon. My name is Carrington Wiggum. I currently have the privilege of serving as Student Government Association President and Board of Trustee.
And good afternoon, everyone. I'm Marcus Thomas, a third-year business administration student from Pensacola, Florida, and I have the pleasure of serving as student body vice president.
I didn't say where I was from, but I am a broadcast journalism major focusing in communication law and a theater minor from Dallas, Texas. And I'm just going to look around the room because when I look around the room, it reminds me of why I wanted this position, because I knew the shoes and the role I had to fulfill just by stepping foot on the highest of 7 hills. I knew that all those who came before me paved the way so I could get here and do better than you guys did. However, fulfill the legacy and make sure that we keep going. I look around this room and I'm so grateful because we see our peers every day on campus, but we do not see so many, the people that just do so much for us to make sure that we are successful. The support, your donations, and literally just having that Rattler spirit that we feel all the way every day. So I'll give it over to Marcus.
Thank you. Yeah, and I'm going to be very brief. All my fellow student leaders said it all. But I just want to especially thank you. A lot of times we give thanks to our amazing president, Dr. Robinson, administration, staff, and faculty at FAMU. What really keeps FAMU going is you all. All of our alumni. I tell people all the time, the reason that I chose FAMU is our persistent alumni. They're going to make sure that they always show love for our university. So, to this event, I just wanted to say, of course, shout out to Coach Simmons. Shout out to all of Rattler Athletics, football team. Y'all have done an amazing job. And something that they pride themselves on this year is leaving no doubts. So I want to ensure you all, I challenge all of you Rattlers to join them in their mission of leaving no doubts. Leave no doubts that we're number one. Leave no doubts that we are the best public HBCU in the nation. And leave no doubts that we are FAMU. So thank you all, and we love you all.
While Eddie is doing that, I have to share this with you. Coming in, the young lady observed my shirt, and it said Quarterback Club, as all of you know. She said, "Are you a former FAMU quarterback?"
I missed that. Vaughn, do you have that on video?
Mr. Jackson.
Yes.
Can you please ask Ms. Carrington to tell who her father is? Because a lot of people don't know who her father is.
Ms. Harrington?
So I just have a question. Was anyone at FAMU between maybe 85 and 89? Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay. Well, so my story is a little different. I am a third-time generation Rattler, like many of you all in the room, or your grandchildren, children. And my father is a past SGA president, so I just thought I should just make him happy and just, fulfill his legacy and take after his footsteps. So I'm also a legacy of Student Government Association presidents following after my father, who was the centennial president of the centennial year.
What's his name?
Andrew Wiggum.
Mr. Matthews.
Another student government president.
Oh, Mr. James Matthews was president of student government in 1974. Right? Same year, you said that, but I wanted to make sure everybody hear it. Matt tells us that about once a week, I was president of Student Government Association. I don't understand people always boasting about themselves. Anyway, yes. As you can see, Coach Simmons in the house. Coach, briefly before we bring up Coach Simmons, and is Colonel Joe here? Okay, we're gonna have a very special presentation, thanks to Colonel Joe. And some of you may want to get in on these kinds of presentations. Of course, I want to announce today, with your permission, in addition to the offensive and defensive player of the week trophies, we're going to add special teams Pro League with your permission. I was a special team player as well as. Okay. So I played them all, people. Ms. Ferguson, we had the president of the Capital City Chamber of Commerce here who wants to make brief remarks before we bring up course. Ms. Turk.
Oh, wow. See, well, greetings to everybody. I hated to follow Mayor Dailey with them $500, but Capital City Chamber going to add a couple of zeros to that. But we're going to we have an event that's coming up, and it's for our homecoming breakfast. It's the morning of homecoming, which is the 30th, and the coach don't even know. We talk verbally, but I got this nice picture on front of it with Dr. Robinson, and they're kicking off with me before 7 o'clock before convocation, 7 a.m. that morning. And so when I reached out to Mr. Eddie, he said, we don't get up that time of morning. And I said, just send your money. But nevertheless, we are having a breakfast that morning, and the benefits will go towards FAMU athletics to keep them going. The chamber recognizes that is an economic driver. Just like Mayor Dailey said, we recognize the importance of keeping the football team healthy, strong in all areas, and that is an economic driver. So this year, we normally have the golf tournament. We were not able to pull that through this year, and so what we did not want to lose, the opportunity as a chamber to continue to serve our community strong and also to give dollars where it's needed within our community so we can keep going. And Coach Simmons, I was up there in them stands Saturday. I was doing everything. But you're going to give me one of them cheerleading uniforms yet. But nevertheless, I can do it, y'all. But nevertheless, I just enjoy coming here. You guys are very down to earth, and the food always smells amazing. But again, congratulations to your successes, and we're going to win this week, and thank you again.
Thank you, Pastor. Ladies and gentlemen, the head football coach of Florida A&M University Rattlers, Coach Willie Simmons.
Good afternoon. Great to see everyone. Royal Course, always great to see you guys. I appreciate all the support. Student section has been amazing. First 2 games, so y'all get the student section a hand. I can't remember what publication did it, but they came out with a top student-based ranking, a national student-based ranking of all schools in all divisions. And FAMU was the only, not only HBCU, but only FCS school in the top 20. So again, it's a testament to the students and what you guys are doing. There's some rumors out there that the mascot almost got beat up on Saturday. I mean, it was bad and Bragg for the Hornets last week. So, again, just great to be here today. Obviously, have 2 of our student athletes with us here today, the offensive and defensive players of the week. So, offensive player of the week. Of course, everyone knows we're kind of running back by committee right now. We got 3 guys that are doing a really good job for us, but this young man did a phenomenal job, broke off some big runs, scored an early touchdown, did really well in the blocking game, is finally starting to kind of get his legs up underneath him after missing a few days in training camp. But you'll see a lot more of this big bull coming through the line of scrimmage and making plays. So Mr. Third year player, I'll let him introduce himself and tell his major, Mr. Terrell Jennings. 23, number 23.
Greetings, how y'all doing? Well, I'm Terrell Jennings from Duval County, Jacksonville, Florida. I'm a 3rd-year criminal justice major at the Florida A&M University. I'm happy to be here. And I'm sorry. I said I'm happy to be here, and I enjoy everyone in this room, and I appreciate the support from y'all, and so does my team.
All right. Terrell's one of those guys that benefited from the nutrition. He's about 230 right now. A lot of us in his head, but it helps him run hard, though. All right, Defensive Player of the Week, the 220 Defensive Player of the Week, but who was also named Box to Row National Player of the Week, outside linebacker, defensive end, Isaiah Land.
Hey, Joe. My name is Isaiah Land, fourth year sociology major from Buffalo, New York. Thank y'all for the support and everything y'all do for us, for the football team.
Yeah. Picture with Colonel Joe? Oh, he has one? You want to do it now, Colonel? You ready, Eddie? You want to go and do it now?
Whatever you think is best.
Yeah, let's do it now.
Okay, Colonel.
Coach Simmons, I need that pullover.
It's old. So we said we got to get one more, a special ed player of the week for Eddie. That what we said? Oh, you said special teams.
First of all, I'd like to say we won. And we ought to give a big round of applause to our coach and to these wonderful players who made it happen. So let's give a big shout out and a round of applause to those guys. And Eddie told me that in order to get the privilege to do this, that I had to say that win was because he called the players into you, the plays into you, and that you followed what he sent you. So congratulations. Terrell Jennings, come on over, Terrell. Terrell, it's an honor for me to, on behalf of the 220 Quarterback Club and the boosters in here, who in many cases are the same, and congratulate you very much for your outstanding work. And thanks to you, we had a win, and we really appreciate it. Okay, one more, and Isaiah Land, come on over.
Oh, yeah.
Isaiah, thanks for your outstanding play, and again, thanks to your outstanding play, and we won a game, and we want to thank you very much for it. Thank you. Is that all right? Or you want both of them? Both of them in the middle. You gotta get that in control. The flag. Slide over some so we can.
No, that's good. We want the flag in the back.
All right, there we go. All right. All right, let's give them a big round of applause.
All right, thank you guys so much for that. Anytime these guys can leave with some hardware, that's always good. But again, great team win last week. Whenever you can pitch a shutout at home, it's a huge testament to the defensive coaches for putting together a phenomenal game plan. These guys on defense really carrying out that game plan, and it's very, very hard to shut a team out. I mean, it means that and I don't even know if they crossed the 30-yard line until the last drive when the game was kind of out of reach and we got a little senseless personal foul. But again, those guys just played just lights out football, and for the first time probably since we've been here, it was obvious that we were the more physical football team. I mean, we tapped those guys out pretty early. So I talked to their head coach yesterday, and I don't know who will be ready to play this week, but they had a whole bunch of jokers fall out in the game, so I don't know if they were really hurt or they were like, we're not going to play the rest of this football game. So, but it was just a great testament. It was just a great physical game to watch, and I was happy to be there. But again, just can't say enough about the atmosphere. Really, really great to be at home, to play in Bragg, to be in the confines of our home, and to just see the student section doing what they're doing, to see you guys getting behind the team, and it really gives us life. It really gives our guys the energy to fight, to continue to push forward and do the right things.
when they have a home crowd behind them. So one more this week coming up, and then obviously the last one will be homecoming. So again, we have a team coming in this week who their head coach has never lost in Bragg. Okay, Buddy Pugh started coaching at South Carolina State, I think, in 2001. So if you do the math, that's about 8 trips or 9. Well, they didn't play every other year, but I think they played 14 times, 14 or 16 times, which means he's probably played 7 or 8 times in Bragg. He's yet to lose yet. He's yet to lose. All right, so we got to do something about that this coming Saturday. Right, so as a football staff, we're working hard to do something about it. The team is excited to do something about it, but I need Rattler Nation to do something about it as well. Right, and so I know the students will be ready to go. Okay, need you guys to be ready to go. We're gonna make sure we talk to the announcer, make sure he's ready to go. I know Dr. Chipman probably got the band out there in the rain right now practicing, so we know they'll be ready to go. And so again, it'll be a great atmosphere. And I think this game here is a great tune-up, even though it's not a conference game. One, there's a lot at stake, and I'll talk about that in a second. But I think it's a great tune-up for the Alabama A&M game, which we'll play next week. Obviously, we're not looking ahead, but their styles are very similar. A lot of the teams we played so far have been more, not to say running football teams, but they haven't had the dynamic quarterback play that we'll see in these next 2 games. The 2 best quarterbacks we'll probably play all year will be this week and then next week. Corey Fields from South Carolina State is a very good quarterback, throws the ball extremely well. And then, of course, Quill Glass at Alabama A&M is the top black college quarterback in the country. And so playing this game this week will really test our defense as far as our pass defense. We've been really good, amazing 3 of the 4 games in rush defense. Pass defense, we've been really good as well. Last week we held Alabama State to under 100 yards in both, which is very difficult to do. And so those guys are playing at an extremely high level. But this will be a great challenge for our defense this week. Offensively, you see the shift and kind of philosophically what we're becoming or what we've become. I know we've been accustomed to the spread people out and throw the ball around the yard for 300 yards a game and get the rack boys involved early and all those things. But for guys like Terrell, Bishop Bonnet, Jay McLeod, we've really kind of relied a lot more heavily on the run game, right? And for 2 reasons. One, when you have a great defense, what you want to do is keep them off the field as much as possible to keep them fresh. The easiest way to do that is to hand the football off, right? It keeps the clock running, okay? You don't have the quick 3 and outs where you only take a minute off the clock, all right, when you throw the ball around a bunch. And it allows you to physically impose your will upon the other team, all right? And the second thing it does, you limit the times you can turn the ball over when you turn around and hand it off, okay? Rashawn has taken his fair share of criticism this year as the starting quarterback, and he hasn't played perfect football, but the one thing he has not done in 4 games, knock on wood, is throw it to the other team, right? So in 4 games, he has 0 interceptions, which is very good when you consider the fact that our defense is playing the way they are. We had the number 1 punter in the nation, and I think we still have the number 1 punter in the nation now with Jose Romo Martinez. So very rarely do you lose a guy who's averaging 49 yards a punt and replace him with a guy who just averaged 54 yards a punt in the last game. So we have a very strong defense, and we have a great punter, special teams unit. So we're winning the field position battle. That's going to be something that's going to be critical for us moving forward the rest of the year, is winning the field position battle. And so, again, we'll do what we need to do offensively. I think the run game, we're doing some new stuff that, we're kind of really graduating into. That's going to be exciting. I think you're going to really see the run game take a huge leap this week. I fully anticipate breaking that 200-yard mark on the ground this week, and I think that's going to be something that we'll need to be successful. Defensively, I expect us to continue to play at an extremely high level. We got a huge boost this week. Some great news came through. The NCAA finally showed us some grace and allowed Savion Williams to get cleared. And so Savion is Savion Williams is our transfer defensive tackle from Tennessee, University of Tennessee, who came in this past spring. Had to get some things, get a waiver from the NCAA for some eligibility stuff. Got that this week, so he's cleared. He's excited. He hasn't stopped smiling since he got the news. couple of days ago, and he won't stop smiling until that first snap against South Carolina State. And between Isaiah Land, Deontay Williams, Gentle, Savion, those guys, just Eddie, make sure EMS is there on Saturday, because their quarterback, it might be bad for their quarterback with those guys. But I go against them every day, and we go against them every day in practice, and it's unbelievable how talented we are on the defensive front. So very excited to see what he can do when he joining a group that's already playing as good defense as anybody in the country. And so I know that's going to really bode well for us. So we're excited about the game. We definitely I want to send old Buddy Pugh out the wrong way. He's kind of on the tail end of his coaching career. He's a legend, future Hall of Famer, and a guy I look up to, truth be told. I've known Buddy for a long time. I played my last year of college football with his son at the Citadel, and he's a great friend of mine, works for the NCAA right now as well. And so, again, a guy I have a ton of respect for. But, again, when we cross that line on Saturday at 6 p.m., the pleasantries will be extended in pregame, and then after that, it's going to be a battle, right? And so, but again, looking forward to a great day, great atmosphere, and again, looking forward to seeing you guys come out and do what we do every week, which is take over Bragg and make it extremely difficult for the other team. So in 2 games at Bragg, we've given up 7 points, right? And so we want to keep, I know Dr. Walker's the smartest one in here, but everybody can know the math. That's 3.5 points a game, right? So we want to make sure we keep that streak going. I want to thank, again, Mayor Dailey for just his continued support of not only FAMU athletics, but Florida A&M University, the south side of Tallahassee, the city of Tallahassee, this community. And again, we're going to get you that cheerleader uniform. We're getting it. We're getting it. Not you, Bill. Not you, man. Not you, man. We'll get you a jersey. Get your extra small. Gotcha. Got that covered. Got that, Eddie? Got that covered. All right. So as always, we'll open the floor for questions and look forward to answering for you guys. All right?
Okay. I was excited to see during the game, I think on more than one occasion, those 2 big backs on the field at the same time. I loved it. I was also excited to see the progression of our tight ends, and I saw Jeremiah Pruitt in the game.
Yeah.
I love what I see developing. The evolution of our offense is not what our offense was a couple of years ago. It's a different offense, but it's productive, and I love the philosophy and where you're going. That's not a question, that's a commentary. I just wanted to tell you, I like what I see.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. And of course, Jay, that's 28. So Terrell's 23, Jay's 28, and then Bishop's obviously number 1. But we got to come up. We're still trying to find a name for that group. They're all from Jacksonville, so you got probably some Duval related. Just having those guys back there, they all run extremely hard. Terrell's 230. Jay's 245. They're really, really big guys, and they work well together. They're unselfish. You look at last week's game. I think Terrell had 9 carries, Bishop had 9 carries, Jay had 6. So they're all getting. None of them's getting 30 carries a game, and they're not complaining about not getting 30. They're unselfish. They feed off of one another, and so that's a good thing. But Jay kind of tweaked his ankle a little bit last week. Hope to get him back this week. But even if not, I know Terrell and Bishop would do their job in the backfield. But Jeremiah's working his way into the rotation. He's really learning the plays and getting involved, and we're finding ways to get him involved, taking advantage of what he does well. He's a 6'6", 225, 30-pound guy that can run and catch. So we got to get him involved offensively. So that's our job as coaches, is to figure out how to best utilize our personnel. And with Chad kind of still being out with an ankle, Manigo's still working his way back from a hamstring. We got to utilize some of the bigger bodies that we have to take advantage. So that's what we're doing. So I appreciate that.
I had 2 questions, but you answered about the punting. I always want to know about the punting. How are we ranked? How's the ranking in the conference?
As far as what category?
First place, second, third.
Overall?
Yes.
So right now we're basically tied for second. Right. So Jackson's they've only played one conference game, so they're 1-0. Of course, they have a huge showdown this week versus Alabama A&M. So whoever A&M lost last week, so they're kind of in that position where they almost have to win. Alabama A&M. Yeah, so they lost to Grambling last week, which gives them one conference loss. So Jackson's 1-0. There are 4 of us that are 1-1. Us, A&M, Alabama State, 3 of us. And then obviously, but Mississippi Valley's 1-1 as well. And then that other little team down the road is 0-2, I think. So.
Coach, I was worried about the third quarter. Man, it was a great game, but I wanted to mention it to you that he killing them in the third quarter.
Yeah. You know, we came out the third quarter, and you know, we didn't have as many possessions. I think that's when the officials just decided that the pockets were burning, and so they had to really get rid of some loose change in the form of flags. And so when you keeping our defense on the field by just throwing flags after play, I mean, it got to the point where I just told them, I said, look, okay, no more flags on either team. Like, I don't care what happens, holding, just don't throw it. Just let them play football. I mean, I think I counted, we had like 7 penalties in like a 9-play stretch. On most of them were on us, but on both teams. And so we only ran 55 plays in the game offensively, which is very, very low. And so I think we only had really 2 possessions that third quarter because the penalties kept extending that one drive that they had and just ate up the clock. So yeah, obviously we want to come out the gate, quickly, but it alludes to what I talked about last week. They got the ball coming out of halftime because they wanted to toss in deferred and we got it first. So it takes a possession away from the offense when they get the ball first. So normally we'd have an extra possession, but we didn't. But yeah, definitely we want to come out of the third quarter fast, try to put points on the board. But again, when you're playing as well as we are on defense, it allows me as a play caller to be a lot more conservative. That's just the reality. Because if I get too aggressive and we turn the ball over, we're putting those guys in a bad position and we don't want to do that. So when I can look up and see they don't have an answer for us defensively, it's 3 yards and cloud of dust at that point. Let that clock run, hand it off, let that clock keep running, and then let's get out of this game. And if the final score may be 21-7, 28-3, or in this case 28-0, as opposed to maybe in the past you keep throwing it, and it might be 58-0, or they score a couple times and it's, whatever. So it's forcing me as a head coach for the first time in my coaching career to kind of shift my thought process to, okay, we may have to be more of a ball control offense, but really great on special teams. Let the defense do what they do best and not lose the game on offense. Maybe, I think the formula for that these 2 weeks will be a good test because these are probably the 2 best offenses we'll face in these consecutive weeks. And so we'll see what we need to do offensively to, score enough. That's the goal. Like I said, score 1 more point than they score, and we'll be in good shape. But the way this group is playing on defense, if we don't turn it over, we should be in great shape. Yes, ma'am, Coach. Come on, get it. I've been waiting. Come on. Well, that's right. Hey.
how fast is Bishop in the 40? Now, I ain't 4.2. There ain't many 4.2s in the world. You know, that's interesting. We don't time them in the 40, but he plays faster than he probably would time. You'd probably be surprised at what he would actually time in a 40.
Because on that touchdown, I just knew he had it.
Yeah, no, we turned a couple of guys loose play side that we shouldn't have, but now he you know what, he plays with the passion and just he plays the way he's supposed to play the game, and so he plays fast. That's what I'm saying. He may not time 4.4. Terrell might have to be faster than Bishop, believe it or not, but he just the way he plays the game, always full speed, balls to the wall. I mean, he's a 5'7", 175-pound guy who plays with a heart as big as this room, you know, and that's why he makes the plays he makes. But he's you know, Bishop's a guy that you like to watch play just because of how he.
We all know you love this. We know that. How hard is it for you to make that adjustment?
If it means we win, it's real easy. Yeah. It's a lot easier when we can win. But no, when you got backs like those guys, it makes it a lot easier to turn around and hand the ball off. You know, so again, that's what we want to do. And you know, we want to do what we need to do to win, right? And so it's not always sexy, you know, to turn around and hand the ball off. You don't always have the 45 and 50 points, you know, scoring games that you have when you throw the ball around the yard, you know. But it complements who we are as a football team, right? One of the things I was looking forward to in going to the SWAC was because of playing in the MEAC, we had to build our team to be physical. Right, we had to build it that way because you're not going to survive in the MEAC if you're not physical. Because going up to DC and Baltimore and Dover in November when it's 20 degrees outside, you better be able to run the ball, right? And so that's how we built the team before we even knew we were going to the SWAC. So once we made the switch, I said they won't be ready for our physicality. They won't be able to handle how physical we are. And Saturday's game was a testament to that. Like I knew after about 2 series that we can literally just turn around and hand the ball off every time and plant the ball, and they will not score. Like unless and I told the team at halftime, if we don't bust an assignment, they will not score on us. And of course, that held true. So it's physically we're able to do some stuff now that we haven't been able to do in the past. And so obviously that forces me, not forces, but it allows me to shift a little bit of my mindset as to how aggressive we need to be on offense.
Got down. This will be a physical game and we don't win it. And they were calling out coffee. I said, I must be working.
It is. It's working.
You notice the offensive line, they start moving them back and we start running. I think we had about, how many plays we had running equal to the one we had passing. And people didn't realize when they start playing that way, people around the actual, I said, look here, they get physical with that team. I said, they get more physical than you think they are. The people be like, why are you doing that? I said, they're getting physical. Our offensive line start blocking, instead of going one side, they start moving. And on defense, I'm telling you, I love it. And that guy, 31 Lance, what?
There he is.
I don't know how big. How much you weigh, man?
210.
Man, he's playing like he weighed 230, 240 out there. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
He missed one play, the quarterback. See, I be keeping up stuff. That quarterback got by you like he got mad with him. So, oh no, I'm gonna get him next time. But I saw this out on the field. When he get out there, like he was playing like 250, the way he was getting across the line. And he was knocking them down. I said, this guy don't make offensive play up, defensive play up. Everybody be looking at me. I said, watch what I tell you. I said, he don't make it. Yeah, he don't make it. But he was playing with an uplifting thing. When he missed that tackle, he was just mad as head. Boy, look at the kid here. I'm telling you, I keep up with that. This is what I keep up. Down line. I don't know what I'm gonna call them. I'm calling the venom, because they be putting that venom. And that's how they play. And you get them to play together that way. They were playing together. It was a team thing. One guy missed a block, he get me. I take care of that. He said, I got him next time. And that's the way they played out there. I love it.
You'll know that about our team, really, particularly our defense. Those guys, they play for each other. Zay had 3 sacks, but Gentle Hunt was just as happy for Zay as they don't care. Deontay didn't have any, and he's been getting them. Now they compete with one another, so in their downtime, Zay and Deontay gonna compete and bet who has the most sacks because that's what they do. They rush passes, but we don't care who gets the credit. You know, they just play hard. And you know, the thing about Zay, and I'll say this, you know, and I told you guys probably a couple weeks ago, you know, when we signed Zay out of Grayson, he's from Buffalo, but he played high school ball up in Grayson, up in North Atlanta. Zay was probably 185 pounds when he got here, and you know, struggled putting weight on. And so when we started doing nutrition and was able to allow him to do that, you know, Zay's up to 210, and the thing about Zay, we of course we have our 3 groups in the weight room, our blood, sweat, and tears group, based on how much you lift, right? And it's broken down by, we call them skill or wide receivers, defensive backs. Those are our skill guys, right? Mid skill are our linebackers, running backs, tight ends, defensive ends. And then our bigs, of course, our O-line and D-line, right? So we have our certain parameters as to how much weight you have to lift to reach the blood group, which is the highest group. You can't lift that much, but you lift this much, you're in the sweat group. And then obviously if you're below that, you're in the tears group, right? So Zay could very easily be in the mid-skill group because of the position he plays, right? He's a hybrid D-lineman linebacker. Well, he wants to be included in the bigs group. So all the bigs are the O-lineman and D-lineman, which all weigh 300 plus pounds. Isaiah is in the blood group for the lineman. He's the third highest. Of the only 2 guys that lift more than Zay are Stanley Mentor, who is 325 pounds, and Keenan Forbes, who's 335 pounds. They're the only 2 guys that lift more than Isaiah Land in bench press, back squat, and power clean. So now you see him play, now he can run, but he's as strong as they come. So that allows him to do the things he does on the field, and he has a mentality that I haven't seen in a long time. He's what they call a dog.
Coach, the new Potter, is he from Norfolk?
No, he transferred from Delaware State.
Okay.
Yeah.
Somebody in the stand sitting by me was telling them, I say he transferred to Norfolk and said they were mad. So you go up there and say Norfolk struggling already. You go up there and get the best thing on the team.
No, Delaware State's probably struggling. Yeah, probably with Delaware. But no, Jose came to us from, he and his brother from California. They both played at Delaware State. So he was an all-conference kicker and punter at Delaware State. And he's a grad student, you know, so he's got 2 years of eligibility left, so this year and 1 more year. But I told Coach JB he's a recruiter of the year. Because he signed Jose, right? And so, he's a huge weapon for us. I mean, kickoffs, he's kicking them into the end zone, so they can't return them. Punting, he's averaging 50 yards a punt. And he missed the field goal, but he ain't going to miss a field goal because it's short. He might miss it wide left or wide right. But on yesterday, we always do field goal, right when we start practice. And the last kick, the ball was spotted on the 33, which you always put it 7 yards behind that. So he was kicking from the 40, which, again, Dr. Walker knows it's a 50-yard field goal, right? He made it with at least 10 more yards to spare. I mean, it went through the upright, and it wasn't even close. And so he's got just a tremendous leg, and he's going to be a huge weapon for us. And like I said, we'll get him to square those hips up a little more to make that field goal. But the one he missed the other day was a 45-yarder, but had 10 to 15 more yards on it. He just hit it, pushed it a little left. But he's a huge weapon.
Coach, I realize you say you want to cut down on penalties, but we received the ball there. How did we get that delay of game? Clock.
I don't throw my own school under the bus now. No, the play clock was kind of malfunctioning. So it jumped from like 20 to 10. And so we thought that they were going to reset it because obviously it's malfunctioning. Well, it didn't, and the quarterback thought it was going to reset it as well. So they threw the flag, and then when our coaches went to the official and said, hey, the clock's malfunctioning. I mean, like, you going to give them a penalty? And the official said, y'all at home. Like, this is your clock. So, that was a friendly fire that we caused ourselves a 5 yard. So I don't count that one in our penalties, right? I let that one go. So, Okay. Yeah. So I addressed it on the show on Monday. So the rule is anytime you're receiving a kick, right, whether it's a kickoff or a punt, okay, if you never secure possession of the ball, it's called a muff, all right? A fumble is when I'm securing the ball and I run and then the ball comes loose. So if I fumble the ball and it goes into the end zone and I recover it, that's a safety for the other team. If I fumble the ball and the other team recovers it in the end zone, that's a touchdown for the other team. If I muff a kick, so if I never fully possess it and it hits my body, then if I recover in the end zone, it's a touchback because the ball was never secured. Okay, now he picked the ball up in the field of play, but the rule says if your momentum takes you into the end zone, then they treat it as if you're already in the end zone. So because he picked it up at the 1 or half yard line and his body momentum took him in, then it's a touchback. So they were actually right on that. That was one of the few that they were right on. Right. So yeah, but that's the rule, right? So that's why we have to tell our team all the time: if a kid muffs a punt, you can't advance it. The other team can't pick it up and run with it, right? Because it's like you never secured it. So the ball would be spotted wherever the offensive team or the team that punts it picks it up, right? Now fumble, you can advance a fumble, you cannot advance a muff. So again, that was one of the ones they actually got right.
Coach, you got Savion back.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any others?
No, there's only really one more that we're waiting on, and that's the punter, the other kicker. And so hopefully we'll know something about him pretty soon. But Savion was one of the last ones that we were waiting. And we resubmitted his waiver after we got some new information. So we're very, very excited to get him back.
So President Robinson's dark cloud defense, and it just got dark.
It just got darker. He's light-skinned, but it just got a whole lot darker. And so, I mean, he might jump outside every time Saturday because he's going to be so excited and eager to get on the field. But if they go on 2, they're probably going to get 5 free yards. But if they snap it on 1, watch out.
Is he football ready?
Oh, yeah. He's practiced every day. Yeah, he's practiced the entire time. So he's in football shape. He's ready to go. He knows the defense. So, I mean, it's like I said again, it's making us better offensively, having to go against those guys every day in practice. They're special. I mean, I haven't been around a defense like that ever. That's that deep and that talented up front.
One other question. How do you compare the South Carolina State team today versus the one in 2019?
Offensively, I think they're better because we actually then kind of helped them find fields because they were playing Tyreek Nix, the runner, and Bell it was actually Eric Smith when he got the targeting call on the sideline. So Eric Smith knocked Tyreek out the game. They bought Corey. When they knocked Tyreek out, we were up by I think 3 touchdowns, and then they bought Corey in, and it was like all over the field. So he's a very strong passer. So they've gone more to a passing offense. They're not the running team that they were. Buddy Pugh's kind of made this living being a smash mouth, be great on defense, run the football type of coach, be good on special teams. It's kind of the opposite. They're pretty good on offense. They have not really been strong on defense. They don't have the size that they've had in the past. They're built more for speed. And so they're a different team. Right? They're a different team. Still talented, still able to score points in bunches. Defensively, they struggle. So, we should be able to manufacture some things offensively. But the thing, again, with a Buddy Pugh coach team is, one, they're going to be really good on special teams. Of course, they blocked 2 in 19, right? So we definitely got to be ready for them to come after us. And then they're going to play hard, right? They don't quit. They're going to play hard. So you get up by 2 scores, 3 scores. They don't quit. They just keep coming and coming and coming. Like I said, 19. It was a comfortable lead. And you look up and it's like we're down. Like we were down in the last drive. We had to come in and win on the last drive of the game after being up 3 scores. So we got to play for 60 minutes, right? Not saying it'll be a close game, but even if it's a game that gets out of hand, we got to play hard for 60 minutes because their team ain't gonna quit, and that's what you want. So yeah, definitely third quarter we got to come out fast, but out the gate we got to come out fast and sustain it all the way through. This is his senior year. This is senior year. He played 2 years of junior college football. Played 2 years at Tennessee, but because of 2020, got the COVID year. So this is his senior year. So he only has 1 year left. Well, this season is his last one. Yeah, he's got 9 games to show what he's worth.
He's the guy on the sideline that wears 0?
Yes. Yeah. Now he'll be the guy on the field wearing 0. Oh, I appreciate it. Appreciate you guys. Thank you guys. Help us pitch another shutout. And then had we done a special teams player, it would have been Jose or Blake Simpson. Yeah.
Okay.
We-
We're
You guys edit. You guys talk in the mic.
The Primitive Baptist Association will have a convention here next week on Wednesday. So we may have to take a week off. We've been looking for an alternative site, but nothing can give us the kind of space we have here, so we may have to take a week off. So right now, our next meeting will probably be October 13th. October 20th, I think. But anyway, I'll notify you.
What about your church?
I'm in good standing over there. I'll look into it. I'll look into it and let you know.